Hey, what's up guys, it's Card Shuffler 99 here, and today we're going to be revealing for you guys 4MG's audition card trick that they performed on Britain's Got Talent just a couple hours ago. If you guys want to learn this trick today, make sure you stick around for this video. If you guys don't want to know how this is done and you want it to remain a secret, that's perfectly fine. Just exit the video right now because we will be explaining to you guys how they went about doing their trick. Don't forget to enter into the giveaway. We'll be ending very soon. We're giving away $100 of Amazon gift cards and 5 Theory 11 decks of cards. All you guys have to do enter is like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment something in the comment section below. Make sure you guys have your post notifications turned on. That is all you have to do to enter. Anyway, guys, let's get straight into this card trick, tutorial, reveal, whatever you want to call it. Let's get into it. So, the first thing that we're going to explain is basically it's a 4 or 5 part card trick. Each of the guys is going to do one individual part of the trick, and then it's all going to culminate at the very end with them having the shirts and doing the part with the bottle. So the first thing that you have to know is that the majority of this trick is going to revolve around card forces, which is how they're going to unveil their eventual prediction. So we're just going to explain how they went about doing it. It was a pretty simple trick. Basically, each of the guys goes up to one of the judges. They're going to do an individual card force, and then from there, they'll reveal it with the shirts at the end, and then they'll also do some sort of little trick with it after they all select their cards. So the first two guys, the first two card forces are going to involve the Svengali deck. So what is the Svengali deck? The Svengali deck is, and I have actually shown this in a previous video, but it's basically a trick or a deck that has a repeating series of cards. In this case, for this deck, you could tell it would be the 8 of clubs. And what happens here is if you flick through the cards one way, all you get are 8 of clubs. And then if you flick through the cards another way, all you're going to get is a different card. So the first two card forces are going to revolve around the same thing, because the first two revolve around lifting up on a portion of the deck. So the first one is going to say, okay, let's have, for example, let's have David. He's going to go ahead and he's going to lift up on any card he wants. So in this case, let's go here. And no matter where you lift up on the deck, so say you lift up here, you get an 8 of clubs. You lift up here, you get an 8 of clubs. You lift up here, 8 of clubs. And it's just the way the Svengali deck works. So how does it work? Well, basically, if I can show you here, if I can get a little close up on this deck, you'll notice here that the way the deck works is you have cards that are slightly varied in size, meaning every single one of these 8 of clubs here is actually cut slightly short. So this card here is slightly shorter than the 2. Now what is this going to allow you to do? Well, basically you can show all the cards are the same one way. You can show all the cards are different another way. So basically you say, oh, okay, lift up anywhere you want. Let's say they lift up here, or my bad. Let's say you go through and you say, okay, you're going to basically lift up on the pack. That's why he puts the rubber band down. It basically allows you to say, okay, if you have this rubber band here sealing this down, if they go ahead, they can basically lift up, pick up anywhere they want. It's always going to be an 8 of clubs. That is how they're going to force the first card. The second card is actually very similar. It's both going to use the Svengali deck, and they both revolve around just lifting up on a card. So that's how the first two card forces is done. Once again, just uses the Svengali deck. Once again, you show it one way, you can show all the cards are different, or all of them are the same. And then if you show it another way, you can show all the cards are completely different. And that's just how the Svengali deck works. And again, they use that same exact force for both of them. So that's for the first two. They're both going to use the Svengali. Now the third card force is a little bit different, and this is going to use the second hand deal, which is basically a move. All he's going to do is he's going to take whichever card he wants to force. In this case, let's say we wanted to force the 2 of clubs. This card goes on top. You can do any sort of fake shuffle you want. It doesn't really matter as long as you keep that card on the top. Now what you're going to do from here is he's going to basically just take the card, and he's just going to push it down like so. All he's doing is he's taking the second card every time. Okay, so it looks like he's taking the top card, but in reality, he's not taking the top card. He's taking the second from the top because he's going to force this 2. So whenever they say stop, he's just going to set down that final card. Once again, let's say he wants to force the ace of diamonds. The ace of diamond goes on top. You can do any sort of fake shuffle you want. He's going to pull this card down just like so. He's only going to show the top like this, and basically he can set down cards until they say stop. Let's say they say stop right here. Say, okay, we'll go ahead right here, force the ace of diamonds. So that's how that card force is done. So that's 3 of the card forces. Once again, the first 2 both use the Svengali principle, where basically every single one of the cards that he wants to force is either shorter or longer than the cards in the remaining of the deck. Now, the final card force is a little bit different. He's basically just going to riffle down, and there was sort of a bunch of camera cuts here, so there's 2 ways you can go about doing this. This is just going to be a traditional riffle force, but there's so many ways you can go about doing it. One way, let's say you want to force the Joker. What you would do is you would cut the deck just like so, maintaining a pinky break. As you riffle down, no matter where they say stop, you're just going to lift up on that card. Another riffle force that you can use is you riffle through, you say stop, and what you do is you would peel this top card off, okay? So just like this. Let's try that one more time. You riffle through, and you basically, what happens is the traditional way is you peel the card off and then you can flip it over. It looks like he does some sort of flip move. I don't know exactly what he does because there were so many camera cuts. You couldn't exactly see the exact move he was doing, but he's doing something along the lines of this, where he basically just reveals the card like that. But that's basically what he's doing. Once again, 2 ways. You can either keep it on top, use these fingers right here to peel it off, reveal the force, or you could have a break, just like so. Once again, a pinky break, riffle through, lift up at that card every single time, and just like that, you force 4 cards. So that is basically going to be the bulk of the trick, right? They're going to force 4 cards, those 4 guys, and at the end, they'll all have a shirt, and it's going to have their prediction. Basically, it says the name of the card, and the only reason they were able to do that and predict the card that they were going to select is because they're actually forcing the cards. Now, they would then go ahead and they would make it, the cards go ahead and disappear. Some of them made the deck disappear. There's so many different ways of doing that. That's not really the magic part of it per se, but the majority of it is going to be this deck force. Now, the last part of the trick, after you do all the card forces, once again, first 2 use the Svengali deck, and again, the Svengali deck works in a sense that all these 8 of clubs are slightly shorter, and all he has to do is you can show all the cards are different by riffling one way. You can see all the cards are different, right? And then basically take the deck, you say put a rubber band around it, you say just lift up anywhere, no matter where they lift up, you're always going to lift up on an 8 of clubs, right? That's just the way the Svengali works. Once again, the first 2 both use that sort of lift up principle, so they're both going to use Svengali. The second card force, second hand deal, you just peel down. You're basically just taking the second card every time. Once again, second hand deal. And then the third card force, again, it's just a traditional riffle force. Now, the last part of the trick is actually very cool because I haven't seen this trick done in quite a while, and this is the sealed and resealed deck. Now, this is a very cool trick and principle. So basically what this is going to do is all you need to do is you're going to need a brand new deck, obviously, but I don't have a brand new deck, but I'm just going to explain how this would work. So if you don't know anything about a brand new sealed deck, is the way the cellophane on top that covers the deck is set up is that it overlaps itself on the bottom. So what you would have to do is you would take an X-Acto knife and you would carefully make a slit in the bottom here, and keeping the cellophane intact, you would basically just slip the box out. Everything is going to happen to the bottom. From there, you would go ahead, you can open the box up from the bottom. Remember, this whole thing up here, the sticker should still be sealed, so you're going to take the deck out from the bottom. Now, this is how you're setting up the deck, so you would open it from the bottom, just like so. And basically what you would do, you would take the deck out from the bottom of the case. Now, whichever final card you're trying to force, in this case, this was Simon's card, they would take that card out of one of these, in this case, let's say the deck was blue, you use the red deck, take that card out, it would be a duplicate card, obviously, because they didn't have to sign it. It's a duplicate card. This card is going to get replaced with the 10 of hearts that's in this deck. You would just take it out, and that's how you would have that sort of contrast. All you have to do at that point, keep everything the same, put the deck back in through the bottom, just hot glue it, put some glue here, seal it up, put it back in the cellophane, seal up the bottom with some hot glue so it's clear, and then just like that, it basically looks like a brand new deck. And all you have to do from there is during the trick, you can take the cellophane off, open it from the top, unseal it, take it out, and just like that, because you replaced that one card, you can spread the deck out, and basically you would have this sort of effect where all the cards are the same except for one because it was in a sealed deck, and they're all sort of in order. Again, they would be in order, and that is basically the entire trick. The sealed, resealed deck plus the card forces, that's all they did. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Anyway, guys, don't forget, once again, enter into the giveaway. It's going to be ending very, very soon, just like a couple weeks left. This is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out, guys.